This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect adventure bike. It's the unicorn we've all been waiting for. $175 kilograms fully fueled, only 6k euros brand new, 4 years of warranty and so much more. This motorcycle will sell incredibly well, and to be honest, it is already my bike of the year.
Crazy. Herzlich willkommen in Österreich.
Hey everyone, I'm Luke. Welcome to the border between Austria and Germany. Welcome to my review of the CFMoto MT450. What an incredible machine.
Was ein geiles Bike.
It all started with this guy, who invited me to a special KTM event in Austria. I've known him for a while. His name is Herr KTM. I've been destroying his bikes for years on my German channel. And out of nowhere at this event I found the MT450, and to my surprise, Herr KTM even gave me the keys and left me alone with the bike and my destructive tendencies. I now had one weekend to do everything I wanted with this machine, and so I did. The relationship between KTM and CFMoto is as easy to explain as it is romantic. KTM wanted to sell their motorcycles in China, but China said, hell nah, brochacho, you need a local partner for that. KTM was like, why? And China answered, because. And KTM asked, why? And China was a bit annoyed. So KTM went to the Chinese manufacturer CFMoto and asked, do you want to be friends? And CFMoto said, yes, but only if you let me build your 790 range and sell my own bikes in Europe for me. And KTM was like, damn, okay, and proposed that idea to China. And China thought, damn, okay. And that, dear children, is how cute little joint ventures are born. So CFMoto isn't really comparable to Husqvarna or GasGas in a sense that they don't belong to KTM but instead just work together with them. CFMoto is an independent manufacturer, and funnily enough, they also build motorcycles together with Yamaha.
Und ich weiß, dass viele dann sagen so.
And I know that many people will complain about CFMoto being a Chinese manufacturer. They will assume the bike will break down within the first 10 minutes and just be of much lower quality than Japanese or European bikes. It is important to note, however, that nowadays many bikes, even from European or Japanese manufacturers, are partly or fully built in China, such as BMW's mid-range GS's or the whole 790 range from KTM, or even smaller displacement Yamahas. To claim that this bike will suck just because it's Chinese is nothing short of xenophobic in my opinion. Let's at least give it a chance. The problem with many adventure bikes for some people, including myself, is that they are way too heavy for solo off-road adventures with luggage. Nobody wants to deadlift a fully loaded GS adventure. So naturally in the past you had to choose. Do I want power but in return also get a heavy bike, or do I select something smaller like my CRF 250L, which weighs next to nothing but will make road sections straight up torture. For the past few years there was a notable gap in the adventure market between 300 and 700cc. So understandably people asked for a solid 450 suitable for travel. And yes, I know there's the Honda CRF 450L or similar bikes, but those machines are built for competitions and are for some reason road legal. They need oil changes every 1000 kilometers, which makes them absolutely useless for travel. So none of the big manufacturers listened and offered a proper 450 for travelers. And then CFMoto arrived out of nowhere with the MT450. 175 kilos fully fueled, cheap, 4 years of warranty, and the service intervals are also pretty solid. Oil changes every 5000 kilometers and valve clearance only every 40,000 kilometers. That's good enough for every trip.
Das ist wirklich, dieses Motorrad wird, glaube ich,
I truly believe that this will be my next bike. It is so good. This is my first impression. I'm not getting paid by CFMoto or KTM. In fact, I had to pay for this whole trip myself. This is my honest opinion. What I instantly noticed are these foldable mirrors. That's super helpful in heavy traffic or while riding off-road. The fact that these come stock shows me that the people who designed this bike actually ride off-road themselves, which is not something I can say for all other adventure bikes. I also love the adjustable windscreen. Not even my Tenere had one. On the highway you can turn it to the max for maximum wind protection, but once you leave the pavement you can lower it so you don't hit your head on technical stuff. And they even provide you with mounting points for your GPS. The display is nice, but they unfortunately don't offer CarPlay, unlike with their other bikes such as the NK800. The key for the bike is old school, so no keyless go or any wireless shenanigans, which I honestly prefer for adventure bikes. That way you can just make a copy if you lose one on the road and avoid connection or battery issues with the key. The suspension is adjustable, the lever protection is kinda crappy, made out of plastics, and there's also an ABS switch, but unfortunately no cruise control, which is a shame, because you can easily travel at 120 kilometers on the highway, so that would have been nice to have. As you can see down here, there are two pipes, since this is a two-cylinder bike, unlike the KTM 390 Adventure, and it sounds great. The 450 engine is a completely new design by CFMoto. At first I expected them to maybe just buy the 390 engine and do some adjustments to it, but no. It is a new platform which apparently will also be used for cruisers and sports bikes in the future.
Ansonsten gibt's noch den Motor.
As you can see, the bike also comes with a very thin bash plate. It is maybe 1 or 2 millimeters thick, so you definitely need to buy something proper if you want to go off-road. The brake discs, on the other hand, are big enough and provide great stopping power. On the rear you got an 18-inch wheel with a 21-inch up front, which is honestly how it should be on an adventure bike. The ABS is from Bosch and the brakes are made by Brembo. The 450 also has traction control from Bosch, which I found rather useless, but it shuts off automatically if you turn off the ABS on the rear wheel, which is awesome. The suspension is from KYB with an upside down fork and 220 mm of ground clearance. For comparison, my Tenere 700 was only 20 mm higher. That's awesome. What surprised me the most was the ergonomics, especially compared to the competition such as the 390 Adventure.
Aber das Problem an der ist, sie ist halt auch gebaut für kleine
The problem with that one was that it was built for smaller people. The MT450 on the other hand is built for the average European male. At 184 centimeters, I fit perfectly and it doesn't feel like a toy. I am super comfortable. The next few days I spent with Andy, Micha and Chris in Austria. They ride a Husqvarna Norden and a KTM 690. And not once did I need more power, I could easily keep up.
Ich finde so vom Getriebe her.
I feel like the gearbox was stolen straight out of a Honda factory. It is so incredibly smooth. Sometimes you wonder if the gears even engage because you don't feel anything. I tried the CFMoto NK800 a few days ago, which is a sports bike, and shifting on that thing felt as though you personally kicked the gears in place with your toes. It was so harsh. On the 450 on the other hand, it was like riding on a cloud. One could imagine that you hit many false neutrals with that lack of feedback, but no. Every gear change worked flawlessly and effortlessly. That's how you build a gearbox for travel. Wow. And you might feel like this is a sponsored video or that I am paid to praise this bike, but I promise you I am not. I'm just so glad that a new player has entered this stale market full of mediocre, overpriced adventure bikes and finally makes something cheap that people have asked for years. Even though I'm a huge fan, not everything is as great as it could be. The service intervals, for example, are still much shorter than the competition. Oil changes every 5,000 kilometers are fine, but you know, most adventure bikes can handle twice as many kilometers before needing service. And I also dislike the dealer network. I live in one of the largest cities in Germany, but the closest dealer is still more than 1 hour away. So in the end I would probably just do my own oil changes, which voids the fantastic 4-year warranty. And as much as I like the gearbox, I think the gears are just too short. First gear is pretty useless, so I mostly launched in second gear. And the short gears also mean that on the highway doing 120 km an hour, you are close to redline constantly. That's nothing you can't fix though, just fit a different sized sprocket and be done with it. I've done the same thing to my Royal Enfield Himalayan in the past. The windscreen is cool and I love that it's adjustable, but at 184 centimeters I still feel my head shaking in the wind, so a slightly larger windscreen would have been nice, but then again, that's nothing you can't fix, just put one of those spoiler thingies on top and voila. One final complaint though, I wish this bike had cruise control. The range on that thing is so good that you can spend more than 400 kilometers just riding without any brakes, and cruise control would make those moments a bit more comfortable. Thanks a lot for watching and let me know your thoughts on the bike in the comments. KTM and CFMoto was kind enough to let me keep the bike for the summer, so I will spend the next 2 months traveling from Europe to Asia with this thing, and will report back in autumn with a full long-term review. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Cheers.